Hi, my name is Jim Keys. I'm here in Tucson, Arizona, and today wanted to talk about how to create effective digital ads. I think we all know how to create effective print ads, magazines, and so forth. But today I just wanted to give you all some best practices and some ideas to help you with both spec ads, current ads that maybe you might want to revise, and ads to work on from a campaign standpoint. I think this is something that when an effective digital ad is there, we know that it's effective intuitively, but we're not exactly sure why. So hopefully I can help you out there. This is an example of maybe what you don't want to do. This is a very good tourist attraction, but at the same time, maybe it's not the most effective ad in terms of having so much information, so much overload. Um, but you do see a lot of analogies on outdoor, and in outdoor, um, you have the same mentality. You have people driving by, 2 or 3 seconds. That's all you get. And in digital, it's the same thing. Someone is on a page, they're on it for sometimes as little as 3 seconds sometimes. So this little McDonald's ad you see on the side there has the same best practices that you would see in a vertically orientated 300 by 600 pixel ad or 160 by 600 pixel ad. Strong image, colors, graphics, and the close, meaning 2 for 333. This is an outdoor ad in my old state, New Mexico. And again, this is using best practices with their logo, their campaign of true, um, small amount of words and graphics, and who it is, the New Mexico tourism industry. This is a great outdoor ad um, because it's creative. No one ever thought of putting an ad in the beginning of a tunnel. There's a lot of things we could do that way to get really cute. I'm not necessarily saying we should do that, but we know this ad works because it's got the image, the 6 words or less, and the logo. Again, this is an ad from the Ad Council. They probably know what they're doing. Great billboard ad about being blinded by texting. Same basic principles. I think you get it in about 3 seconds what the ad's trying to imply. And on top of that, it's relevant because you're driving your car as you see this ad. This is actually a billboard ad, believe it or not. And it says basically in 5 words or less what the economist is about. Here is an example of probably what you don't want to do. This is not a memorable ad. Memorable, how's that? And it looks like a print ad that was just put up on a wall or someplace outside. You walk away from that ad after 3 seconds, you don't remember anything. So the same fundamental guidelines that work on outdoor work on digital ads. And I wanted to use this because outdoor has been a medium that's been out there for hundreds and hundreds of years. And the same basic principles that applied in the year 1412 apply today. And the same thing applies to digital. That is strong product identification, short copy, short words, large text, make it legible, increase your thickness of your fonts, make small objects much larger, bold colors, high contrast, simplification, and pre-testing your creativity. Can you read it and can you understand it in less than 10 seconds? If it's even close to 10 seconds, you need to start editing and start taking stuff away. So I got some examples here of real ads, and this is in my market in Tucson, these 4 ads. I'll briefly go through them, but just your own gut feeling can see which ones work and which ones don't. On the left is a current ad that is from a dive bar in Tucson, total dive bar. And they had an ad that ran previous to this that had all kinds of stuff on it, pictures and everything. This ad is a very simple ad, and it works well from the vertical orientation of the tall beer glass. And I think that's really why this works well. Not trying to do too much. On the top, this was an ad that ASU ran that just had way too much information. And the results gave you poor results, meaning that they didn't really get what they wanted out of this meeting that was for nonprofits. The ad in the middle is an ad, again, associated with a university. What's the common theme we're kind of seeing in universities? That they want to add too much stuff. This was an ad I reluctantly took. It was done by an ad agency, and you would think they know better. Just way too much information, and really, why are you going to click on this? The ad on the bottom is a current ad right now that's running, and this ad is getting very good response. Very simple ad, doesn't even have an image, but it fits that best practices. In the digital world, in the internet, you kind of have an association. It's called the IAB, and it's all about standardization of ad units, trying to get things so that from one city to another or from one client to another, they can use the same sizes. And about 80% of current ads that are out there are now following these guidelines. Some of our newspapers are using non-supportive ad sizes currently, and whenever I'm working with those different places, we're trying to get them to go to the standardized sizes. These are some guidelines for Gif ads. Gif ads are really what you want to use in today's market, and not Flash. We are totally trying to get away from Flash in that with mobile and other sites that are Apple orientated, they don't support Flash. And more things are not being supported by Flash. Maximum 3 or 4 slides, maximum 14 seconds of the loop. Only use the first 3 sizes, 300 by 250 and 600 and 728 by 90. And the least preferable is the 160 by 600. There's a number of sizes that are out there that were standard and were supported years ago by the IAB. They no longer support them, and there's a number of reasons why. The best ad as far as response is a 300 by 600 because it's the largest. So that's something to consider. When you have Gif ads, they loop. Now you can have them loop continuously forever, but a better best practice is to have them loop 3 or 4 times, end on that last slide, and have that slide be the one that's your call to action. Try not to have more than 8 words on a slide. And the purpose of the ad, remember, is to not give information. You see that so many times, is to create interest and to have some kind of action. Here's a quote directly from Wikipedia about marketing. This is Marketing 102 from college. AIDA, attention, interest, desire, and action. That's our job in digital. It's our job actually in so many different forms of advertising, but create that attention, get them to have some kind of interest. Desire, another word for desire really could be have an emotional response. And an emotional response a lot of times has to do with having humans in the ads, having people, having images, and having possibly imagings where the 2 humans are looking at each other. And then create some kind of action. The action in our case would be to click to the site or just to remember the ad. Those are really what you're trying to accomplish. A lot of objections about digital sometimes are, I don't have a website, or I don't like my website, or I have no place where I can click to, therefore I don't want to buy from you. It's really not a valid objection. That's the first priority if you can, to have the ad click to a website. Secondly, Facebook or other social media if they want. Worst case scenario, and of those 3 is have them click to a Google map. Every single business has a Google map. They have a Google Plus on there, and they can go to a PDF of a coupon, and the coupon can be printed off. So here's 2 examples of ads that don't work. These are ads with a lot of copy on them, and we had results from these ads that showed that they didn't meet the standard rate. The standard rate on a digital ad is 0.07%. And if you get above or close to that, you're doing well. If you get below that, you probably didn't create a good ad. We can all see that the ad on the left just had too much copy, too much information. And the ad on the right could have and should have maybe done better, but I think that it was that the image wasn't recognizable. Nobody knew who this guy was, and so it didn't create that desire and action. These are 2 very simple ads. They're house ads. They do very well. They continue to do well. They're up to 6 to 8 weeks now. They need to be refreshed, but they use those same principles that we were talking about before. These are two local ads, one in California and one in South Dakota. And it gets their message across. The Pilates, you definitely, by having the two people there and they're doing some kind of interaction, you can see what this company's about. And the hotel is more of, you recognize it because this is on the main drag and pier and people know who that is. One of the more creative sometimes and challenging ads are when you have a leaderboard that's a 728 by 90. It's sometimes difficult to get your message across. But these are great examples of not even using any animation. The top three are from Alaska, and again, very simple, not a lot of verbiage. The second one down only has one word. The third one down just uses the name of the town. And then fourthly, even though I'm a U of A graduate, I have to give the ASU marketing department credit here because they tied in Lake Havasu with ASU. And that's very creative. Colors work well, and that's about 8 words or less, so that does well. One of the things sometimes that I see on digital ads is that when we get them back and we get a proof, we just send them on to the clients, send them on to our customers. And my point about no drop-offs is one of the things that we probably should do is assumptively sell them. Tell them why we think this ad is good. Tell them how it's possibly going to benefit them from however you designed it and created it, and really try to close them on not having a number of revisions. It's like using your expertise, setting their expectations that we are every 6 weeks approximately going to give them new creative. If nothing else, just change the size from a 300 by 250 to a 728 by 90. And then always let the customer know, again, these are talking about things ahead of time, trying to give expectations. That run a site is where they get the most benefit. Clients tend to think that everything goes through the homepage and back, and that's only 25% of our traffic. Most of traffic on a news site comes into a story first, and maybe then goes to another story, and maybe then goes to the homepage. Very few people start off at the homepage and go back. So when we're having clients, quote unquote, look at their ad the first day or two it's up, try to show them, have them go to story pages. Click-through sometimes are again an expectation, and it's good to talk about them in a relative sense, in that it gives you a kind of an idea of how the creative's working. As I said before, 0.07% is about average. If you have an ad that's doing 0.35%, you know that that's probably doing 5 times the average. One of the other things that you can do on digital is you can run 2 ads at the same time with different creative, whatever share of voice or whatever impressions they bought, just split them in half and have them run a site, and then after a month, 6 weeks, come back and say, and look at which one did better. If they're fairly close, that's not that big a deal. But when you get a huge difference, a blue-green type difference, that really shows you that the audience liked one versus another. And lastly here, use your expertise. They're paying you to be the expert. They don't know anything about digital. They don't know how clients interact. They don't understand all the particulars. And so use words like, and I found this works well, that I highly recommend that we do this. Experience tells me that this will be an effective way that creative. These are some interesting 300 by 250 ads. They're medium box ads. Sometimes some of the hardest creative to do. On the bottom left there, that is a GIF animation ad. And of those 4 ads, that one did the best. It kind of breaks a few rules, but I think what it did the best of is that it had very strong colors, had a strong call to action about a date and a time, and it was different with a white background. The Phoenix ad, for whatever reason, doesn't move or anything, and is doing very, very well. So here's lastly, we all drive to work and come back and look at outdoor on the way, and we'll notice that every couple of months that one outdoor changes, and one of them was like, wow, dramatically better. But here's just a perfect example of Same basic principles: image, strong verbiage, the company name, and a call to action with the web address. That's an easily remembered web address that someone can go to from a billboard. So those are I wanted to show some people some best practices, things that we all can use, how we can get better. A lot of what we do can be inefficient if we're having 4, 5, 6 revisions of an ad. And if we follow some of these practices, at worst case, we can have one revision and move on. All of us would like that. It's better from a cost standpoint, and also just your client feels more confident that you know what you're doing when you're doing all that. So again, thanks for your time today, and take care.